Good day, everyone. I'm Neil Joshua F. Pachag from Grade 7 Emerald, here to present my output in Visual Reflection, our very first project in our course in Integrated Science. Hope you enjoy watching and listening. It's been 2 months since we started attending classes at Philippine Science High School. I admit, it's very fun and wonderful here. I've made new friends, started joining interesting clubs, and also I'm now studying hard to be one of the director's listers. I find the subjects here very challenging, but also interesting. Our teacher never fails to help us understand the topic better so we can nurture it fully. Here's a self-evaluation of my experience in our class in Integrated Science 1. I find the topic, significant figures and measurements, confusing because I have a hard time getting the precise measurement of the dimensions, like the radius, the diameter, length, height, and the mass, because I take a long time calibrating the triple beam balance. As shown here, I've also got the deviation. I forgot to put the deviations because I didn't got most of the measurements on time. And I've confused on volume and density. I can't get the percent error and uncertainty because of I didn't have the volume and the density. Also, I find the topic dimensional analysis confusing because most of the measure conversion factors are very new to me. I'm not aware of them before, but nevertheless, I was able to learn my mistakes eventually. For like in significant figures and measurements, on my free time I'd grab my notebook and I'd grab a book, then I'd measure all of its dimensions over and over again so I can get the precise measurement. Then I would be able to measure my volume since I've got the precise measurements. Then I can now calculate for the percent error and uncertainty. For dimensional analysis, I searched tips on the internet on how to get the answers quickly and accurately. Also, when I get a problem wrong, I'd solve it over and over again so that I can get until I can get the correct answer. As time passed by, I realized some of the ideas that I know have changed. For example, back in our school, we don't have a lab nor lab equipment. So we only studied them through a book and knew only their uses and their appearances. But now, I was able to handle real solid lab equipment and I was able to use them properly on an experiment. Also, in the international system of units, I only used to know from megameter to nanometer. But now, I have the handout for the international system of units right here. Ta-da! Not only for, and I know that it goes beyond mega and goes beyond nano. I now know from Yeta to Yocto. The worst tests and activities that I had was all about significant figures on measurements because I really find it hard to get the accurate measurement of a certain solid and the percent error and the uncertainty was really hard to obtain. On the other hand, the best tests and activities that I had were all about identifying lab equipment, differentiating observations, and inferences. Because I've already had a background on this a year back. Like for example, on the lab equipment, I've studied all its uses and functions, and now I know how to draw them, as clearly shown here. It may not have been checked, but I know to myself that I can clearly draw them, I can identify what they look like, and I can explain their uses. And observations and inferences was the only quiz that I got a perfect score. It doesn't have a score because I forgot to put it, but I may have two mistakes, but it's because of the bonus question that I got it. I got a perfect score. Oh, and you might be wondering, why am I presenting all these artifacts to you? Well, these artifacts aren't just papers with numbers, words, and terms printed on it, but these papers show what our great minds can achieve when put to the test. It may have some mistakes, but we learn from them, don't we? It's from these mistakes that we realize what we have done wrong, and on the next time, we're not gonna do it wrong again. The things that I like about our course are the fact that our subject is very fun and exciting to learn. And also, the teachers always helps us fully understand the topics that we take. While at the same time, they are trying to keep the things interesting for us. And the best thing that I like about our course is that our teacher is a great yoga instructor. So what are the things that I dislike about our course? To be honest, I find absolutely nothing that I dislike about our course. Well, our class is already good enough. But if given the chance, well, can we have more time doing our projects and more bonus questions, please? Well, so far, that has been my experience studying Integrated Science 1 here at Pisay. I hope we get along, and I look forward to spending my high school life with you for the next 6 years. That's all. Thank you for watching, and remember, think green, be green minded.